the clock as we go to Manfield Night to finally kick this one off. A clash between two of the best that the West has to offer. And it starts with a bang from Duskippy.
Oh, you couldn't ask for a more perfect kickoff for the Ducks. Leland, he gets a layup on the rebound, and Duskippy's in the perfect location. It has that pass has to be perfect from Leland because it's in traffic. You have to get it over the defender. It has to be with power. You can't limp that hit at all. And Leland nailed it. You'd be surprised, you know, how many times passes don't get off with power consistently, even at the pro level. But that one was perfect.
You know, Oregon, just by virtue of being a West team, I think this is something a lot of CRL teams in the West deal with. I mean, they're used to having to wait a while for their series to start because, you know, you've got all the East matches to kind of throw everything off schedule. They were in here super early. They were ready to go. They haven't let that little delay get to them at all, as they have come right out of the gate, firing on all cylinders. They're going to be back on the attack again with Duskippy chasing this down, but D-Bank just getting rid of the ball ahead of him. And Leland will dump this off to the corner. He's got Duskippy over there, making sure he gets the boost, and the block is made on Lucia's attempt.
D-Bank rocking the Harbinger right now? Is that what I'm seeing? It is.
It is indeed. All right.
I like the new representation there. There you go, D-Bank. Oh, and he'll be gifted a whiff. He'll pick up the next challenge, but North Texas struggling to hang on to the ball right now, and their rotation's starting to lax up a little bit, but if those challenges keep happening that way, then I mean, surely they'll creep forward a little bit more, but the challenges are looking better and better, and they almost snuck it in on the post.
And then watch out the other way, almost getting past Too Fast and on target. Was that kind of quick shot from beyond the center line. Almost turned into a 2-goal swing, but almost doesn't quite work here in Rocket League. This will go to the back wall. Missed by Lucia. And AJC is going to turn around and avoid the contact. Now it's only D-Bank to beat. Lucia has respawned, and he's able to join the play as well. D-Bank really needed him because he was in an awkward spot.
No, but the grabs on the back wall have been good enough so far. North Texas. Oh, they lost to Duskippy again, who was just ready for this. Oregon grabbed that first challenge, and Leland had all the boost in the world, and that bounce was perfect for him, honestly. If that rolls against the back wall, I'm not sure that's a goal. I think that the defender has time to get up into net, but the fact that it kicked off the corner and out made it the perfect ball for Duskippy.
And Duskippy adds his second goal of the game and series as Oregon holds that 2-0 lead. Well, that's a huge insurance goal going into the second half of this game, because you know North Texas is not going to just lay down here. I don't even think it's possible to shut this team out. It's certainly a tall task to do so, as Lucia bounces this one downfield. D-Bank giving chase, as is Too Fast. Defense kind of frozen there for a moment, trying to figure out who's going to make that play. North Texas tried to take advantage of that little bit of delay. Too Fast trying to center. Didn't get that ball out to Lucia, so he had to go chase it down. And Duskippy will play that away from Too Fast. Oregon gets to go back on the attack after yet another great defensive stand. A shot on is right down the middle for Leland.
That's 2 times now that North Texas are killed on a counterattack, and it's these in-traffic passing plays that they're just slow to. Too Fast is in the right spot, but he just made the read too slowly. AJC was already up in the air before Too Fast even knew how to attack the ball. And he would still only miss that by an inch.
Too Fast over to Lucia, trying to drop down to D-Bank. 3-man passing play doesn't quite work out. So they tried to quickly get downfield, get one right back following the kickoff. North Texas still has a chance here, but they've got to score sooner rather than later. This game one has certainly slipped away from them. And a shot goes off the crossbar that's cleared away.
Good enough save, but low on boost, and that's what happens to you when you just end up crawling on the back wall. You get demoed. North Texas diving towards this ball. They can't get any sort of leeway behind it. The Ducks have been swarming all over it, keeping the ball away. Too Fast has no boost. Good luck. D-Bank 23 on the back wall. All he can do is pitch it away. Lucia has to retreat, and oh, they're lucky it's not 4-0.
Yeah, North Texas just left without boost. I mean, they looked like a wounded animal sitting in the back of their own zone, just trying to get boost pads, trying to get anything. And Oregon, meanwhile, just finessing all around the North Texas zone. A shot's going to whistle wide off Leland, but he gets a big bump on D-Bank right as he jumps, and that's the worst, because at least you get bumped on the ground, you get some control. You get bumped right as you're jumping, and you get knocked into next week.
And Too Fast, he had tried to force an opportunity for his team. D-Bank punched one up for Lucia, and he banged it in the top. That was a nice shot, but maybe a little too late. It's still nice near the end. The Ducks have been pretty clean on defense overall. 7 shots from Duskippy alone. Stacks 13 total for the Ducks to the, I believe 9, yeah, for North Texas. But those 9 shots, when did they happen?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, It has felt like it has been all Oregon. By the way, worth mentioning, goal scoring isn't everything. Duskippy has 2 out of the 3 goals for Oregon, make it 2 out of 4. Bottom of the scoreboard, as you've got 7 saves from the combination of Leland and AJC, and that goal right there from AJC has put game 1 away for good.
They've just felt no threat on defense, and they've caught North Texas out on the counterattack so easily. Like North Texas, as soon as a play doesn't work on offense, everybody just gives up midfield. Like nobody has an eye on midfield and thinks, okay, how do I stop this? How do we buy a little bit more time? All 3 players have trapped the ball in the corner on the mind. But the problem is, the Ducks have you read all day on that. And they're like, okay, well, we're just going to sit in midfield. Hey, here's a long pass. Then North Texas are like, oh no, it's a pass. I got to get up for it. And then they get scored on. It's like, this is something North Texas should be able to deal with. This is something Too Fast is usually really good at handling. But he lost the majority of his 50s in this game because his reads were just slower. And like that's really what it came down to. Too Fast in the right position, didn't have the right read, and it's just good, powerful passing from Oregon. I think more credit goes to Oregon than it does to North Texas's, misplays on defense. But still, it's like those types of situations that, like, I've been built to an expectation for D-Bank and Too Fast that they can handle those types of situations. But the Ducks are just running them dirty on them.
So game 1 does decisively go to Oregon, and I think the maybe the most important factor of all of this, we go back to what we were kind of touching on before the series even started. I mean, Too Fast didn't get in here to do any kind of test or warm up or anything until right before the opening kickoff. The last person in here got to drive around for maybe 2 seconds because, well, a little late. And Oregon, they were in here first. They scored 5 seconds into game 1?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Oregon was a little more prepared for this series than North Texas as a whole. Now we get into game 2, things can settle down, and it's a brand new start for the Mean Green. We'll see what they do with it. Too Fast looking for somebody to center to. Instead, this will fall back to Lucia or D-Bank. Somebody's got to eventually take control, and that somebody is apparently Oregon, as Leland just had one fall right into his lap off of Lucia. And again, North Texas looks just a little scrambled on the defensive end. They still have a chance here. Too Fast, center for Lucia, and they score after the situation they were in about 15 seconds ago.
That's how you get it done. Good win. That time you're faster to the ball at every single step. Leland was positioned for a different touch initially. He had to try to scramble back to get to the ball. He had to spend too much time turning his car around. That meant an easy outlet for Too Fast to get that pass out to Lucia. And that's what you want to see from North Texas. Win that battle of attrition and then pepper the box until you finally get up the goal. It only took 1 shot on net this time, but you pepper that backboard, the back wall long enough. And if you're faster to it, eventually the defense can crack.
Well, Leland does scramble back to play this ball and try to start a counterattack, but now it is Oregon feeling the pressure from North Texas. D-Bank just plays this one across, got a big demolition. That forces Leland into action, and he got that ball over the top of a North Texas defender, and then ate a demolition for his efforts at the hands of D-Bank.
And North Texas are very thankful that D-Bank was able to spawn and then win that 50 because Lucia was caught out in no man's land on that last play. Had D-Bank not won that 50, Lucio was going to be in an acrobatic defensive situation. So good for North Texas on that last play, and they even got the ball back.
Lots of demolitions coming out, and Leland, I think, has kind of been a target. I think he's been blown up 2 or 3 times already in the first couple of minutes. Skippy now, out of the corner. Nobody forward as AJC was all the way across. Leland will try again. Skippy waiting in support. Couldn't get the bump on too fast. Here comes North Texas again, just delaying a little bit. Almost a shake and bake style move from Too Fast, and it threw off the defense enough. Can D-Bank regain possession for Texas? No, but Lucia can. And here come Too Fast and the gang once more.
If you're looking at the Ducks and how they can get through North Texas's defense on these last few progressions, the third man for North Texas is looking a little sketchy. They're cutting in a little too early. There isn't enough respect for the options the second man is covering. And in fact, Skippy just lobbed it into the net.
Yeah, they've had a few chances to catch North Texas a little surprised, low on boost. And that shot comes from seemingly out of nowhere from Skippy, and it finally worked out. Physical play works out for Oregon this time. And we go into the halfway point of game 2, right back where we started.
Oh, and Lucia got burned again. I mean, North Texas have to figure out this third man issue, or else they're going to have to play the ball from their own corner every single time they get the ball back with possession. D-Bank wins the 50, got it out to Lucia. Too Fast coming in quickly, and it's saved. Once they get on offense, it's no problem, but you see how aggressive their formation is. Like, Lucia's playing up so close. D-Bank hasn't even rotated back past the third, and he got demoed for it, and here come the Ducks on the counterattack. Leland throws it up hard. AJC got the catch initially. Too Fast comes around to pick up the next save, but Stacks, I mean, they shouldn't be here. They shouldn't have gotten dunked, but Leland, he's got something to say about it. There's a lead for the Ducks. Well done.
Oh. This is one of the prettiest plays you're going to see. Surely a top 5 nominee by the end of the night. From the ceiling to get the dunk and give Oregon the lead over North Texas in game 2. Remember that particular goal if Oregon goes on to win this game and perhaps later on the series. Big demolition on Too Fast. Skippy trying to get the ball center, and the ball rolls right to Too Fast off the respawn. Skippy up the ladder, looking for a double. Lucia didn't even get there. Now he can wait and he'll get the clear off Leland's effort.
So close from Skippy. That one certainly would have been top 5 at the end of the day had he nailed that off the top of the backboard. He demos the first man on North Texas's rotation, and it doesn't feel like it matters. It matters whatever North Texas try. AJC is there to ruin their dreams.
AJC trying to cut in front of Lucia. Now Leland needed one more touch to get that ball central. Now Skippy, boy, the ball is just left alone, and North Texas is lucky it's still 2-1. And they've gotten lucky a few times, Jorby. They're hanging on by a thread, but they still have a chance to get right back into this game. That's what's so amazing about matchups at this level. You are one bad challenge away from giving up a goal. D-Bank follow up, no. Lucia follows, and we are indeed tied.
Oh, you thought it was never going to end? How many times could they hit an orange player or the post or the crossbar? D-Bank had to have been so upset, but Lucia put a smile on his face at the end. And Stacks, you're right. North Texas, you have gotten lucky. But as long as you put away those chances, no one's going to be mad at you for it.
Leland out of the corner, gave that away to Lucia. Big bump by Too Fast after the demolition on AJC. And again, that physical play. It's got to break Oregon eventually, but not quite now. What a touch by Leland.
Oh, Leland, it's beautiful. Goes downfield, takes your boost away, bangs the ball into the net. Oh, it was perfect. That's how you draw that up. That's when you go into free play. You throw the ball at yourself, Stacks. That is how you dream up shooting that ball. Leland nailed it, man.
Leland's had the 2 best goals of the night. Are you kidding me? Back to back. Out of the corner again, and now North Texas back to tie it. It's Too Fast.
Ow! How do they tie it up like this? Lucia's up front. AJC was just not in the right spot. And Skippy spawned onto Leland?
Oh,
Look, I know we said North Texas were lucky, but aren't Jesus, hello?
I mean, if you're Oregon now, you're gonna be wondering how the heck do we win this game? And maybe the answer is you don't, because too fast for Lucia. No, and the ball, well, that barely got the ground, and we go to overtime. Remember, Oregon opened the series with a kickoff goal just 5 seconds in, but too fast bumps AJC, and there will be no similar fate in OT in game 2.
Oh, I don't know how North Texas have scored 3 goals.
Oh my goodness, they might score another. They do! Off a miss out of the corner. D-Bank wins game 2 for UNT. Highway robbery.
Oh, and Leland gave up the bag. Oh, he stocked you up for Christmas. He put 2 quality shots in the net, and also the owner of the biggest gaff of the night. Oh, wow. Leland, no. Oh, he's got to feel gutted for that.
My goodness. I went from the GOAT to, well, the GOAT. Oh. Yikes. Well, it happens, and now you just have to have a very short-term memory as you go into game 3. I mean, Oregon, they got to be wondering, how do we lose this game? Like, just mechanically, everything seemed to go their way. They had 2 huge goals, 2 masterclass performances out of Leland to take the lead and add to the lead, and then North Texas comes back. The way they scored the equalizer at the end of regulation, and then the way they scored that goal in OT. Boy, Oregon's got some soul searching to do as they get into game 3.
Like 2 of those goals that North Texas scored, Stacks, they came off of misreads low in the corners from Oregon. The first one was AJC, who was trying to catch the ball into the corner as North Texas just punched the ball onto the corner. He completely missed it. Leland, it's the same thing. I think North Texas know it. And they're like, look, if we hit them low on the backboard, they're kind of weak. I'm actually curious now. Watch North Texas. I wonder if they challenge that a little bit more against the Ducks. If the hole is there and they can't find success with the infield passes.
Leland has a line, but that closed up real quickly. Now AJC just taking the shot. Had to Skippy in support. Now he'll cycle over to the side. Looking to throw one on target. Try and create a rebound opportunity. Does not come forth. That ball goes right back to the corner, and too fast. Given enough time and space to get downfield, and Leland has to sweep this away.
Get it out for now, and North Texas still struggling to hang on to boost consistently, and in fact a little bit of trouble on the goal line, but they do get back out or right back into it. That's a little awkward for too fast. D-Bank in front of it now, and as squirrely as it might look at time, Stacks, for North Texas, they seem to find a way out on defense most of the time.
I don't know how Too Fast got to that boost first, but he almost scored off of that boost take. But now here's AJC. I think he might have got clipped, so he couldn't go up in the air at the angle he wanted. Here comes right back for North Texas. Lucia, look at the center for Too Fast. Oh, a cheeky shot goes well wide. He's trying to slip in behind the defender. And the Mean Green continue the attack as Lucia throws one towards D-Bank. Kind of collided with AJC. Now Lucia again, that's easily cleared by AJC, but not out of the zone. Only out of harm's way temporarily, and here comes Too Fast, just under the bar.
And this whole progression from North Texas is exactly the adjustment I was looking for them to make. You don't see a panicky third man creeping up a little too far, trying to make up for time that wasn't lost. And this time the rotation was solid. They kept Oregon on the back wall. They stole some key boosts and then kept that ball away, put it out awkward positions, good passes in front. Everything was working there for North Texas.
The Skippies let this one get away. Should be an easy one for Too Fast, but
just shoot it!
Yeah, he made the fake trying to get the mind game on Leland, and because he slowed down enough, it gave Oregon enough time to get back into the play. Too Fast shot this time. Blocked by Leland. Skippy is camping that corner boost. And I don't think it spawned for him. It did spawn for him, so at least he can try to get this ball downfield, and he will finally over the North Texas defense. Loose in front, and Leland will score as Lucia forgot to take the ball with him.
Yeah, Lucia approached this as well as you could have wanted, but then just lost control of his car. He just cut too far in. It looked like he was he holding power slide? Because Usually you land there, you land on the wave dash, you let go, and you'll bolt straight forward. But he kept turning. It looked like he was holding power slide, and he just completely fell off the ball.
Leland goes across looking for a boost steal as North Texas will try to clear the zone. Leland's got to finish getting back in a hurry. He does. This ball goes all the way across. Leland's got to have it. Not out of the zone. Good ball from Lucia. Too fast looking for the redirect, but Skippy got there first. This will be a little bit high and no follow-up as Lucia was all over it. Great recovery from North Texas as they don't let Oregon get too comfortable in the mean green zone. Now Skippy for AJC, barely blocked. I think it was D-Bank who just barely got a piece of that. Now Leland looking for the flip reset, but did not get all four on.
Well, say what you want about North Texas's defense giving you a heart attack. They somehow come away, most of the times, pretty clean. And it looks super scary. And they're still getting beat on the counterattack. But D-Bank, especially Stacks, has made some great stops to buy North Texas that much needed time and also save them from what would be an Oregon lead.
You know, I feel like I would absolutely hate being an actual North Texas fan. Like, on the one hand, sure, Denton's got some great food. I can attest to that. Fantastic place. But I would not want to have any interest in the result of these games, watching this defense hang on by a thread. We're talking about them like they're trailing by a couple of goals. No, they're in a tie game, in a tie series. I don't know how. It seems to defy all logic and reason, but they are tied up with Oregon here, and they have been battling and doing just enough on the defensive end to frustrate the Oregon Ducks.
And that guy rotating, or it doesn't matter who's rotating back for them, they're pulling off that blindside challenge. So the third man guy staying back in goal, he can stay flat and actually pick up the follow-up touch whenever that quick counterattack play happens. So it might look squirrely at first for North Texas, but on those last few, it was pretty good. For all the praise we've been giving North Texas's defense, though, even though it looks scary, the Ducks have also been pretty solid. They've only allowed 4 shots from North Texas, and that one denied on the double commit from Leland. But, AJC, the turnaround, saved again by too fast. North Texas will not give up ground in front of the blue box. Here they are again, Stacks.
It's just like watching small school basketball. It's a track meet, back and forth, and that ball pinballs around. It hit everything except the net, and that's how we end regulation. Second game in a row, we go to OT. Hey, I told you, we'd have at least a couple of these along the way between two teams that have proven to be very much evenly matched. Leland's going to clear this away. Skippy still waiting on the goal line. Now he can start to edge out and send Oregon downfield, looking to take the lead in this series to set up AJC. That's going to be high. And all of North Texas starts to break downfield.
I finally understand why Too Fast was late to this game. He was finding the magic genie lamp. He only got one wish out of it. He said, we want good defense, and I don't want to let more than one ball in the back of the net. I guess that's what's happening, Stacks. That's my theory. That's my Ronicky level conspiracy theory. I'm sticking with it.
Sure, fair enough. The genie was a little slow acting, but it worked out. Too fast. Bangs this off the back wall. Leland trying to follow the play, run along the ground, and that's easily stopped by D-Bank. Skippy trying to finesse that for anybody that would be able to come up, but that anybody is nobody. High off the backboard again, and that's going to just go back and forth. The two teams, nobody wants to make that critical mistake that leaves the net wide open. Look out, D-Bank couldn't get around on a shot. Now it'll be Too Fast. Will he try to score this himself? No, he was trying to play table setter. Lucia throwing one up there. D-Bank for the win! And he scores!
Pixel perfect placement from D-Bank. Too Fast made a really awkward ball impossible. Lucia made it untouchable, and D-Bank made it unsavable. Perfect from the mean green. That is the North Texas team we know and love. My goodness, what a game.
Sure. They're up 2-1 in this series. They get blown out. They didn't look like they were
fall out of my chair when they're playing defense. Okay, man. I'm like, How many times is D-Bag gonna fly under the attacker to pick up the save with the crossbar before I finally lose my gerbils? My marbles, gerbils, everything.
When I read off these stat lines, 3 goals, 3 assists, 4 goals, 2 assists, 1 goal, 3 assists, you think, okay, so like they won that series, right? No, Oregon's trailing right now in this series, 2-1 as North Texas. We were talking about Lucia in particular and how clutch he has been this season. Yeah, okay, he didn't score there, but he almost had kind of the royal sampler. Shout out to Stranger. He had an assist, he had a save, he had a shot. Just lacked the one going in the net, but he was so instrumental in getting North Texas out of their own defensive end numerous times. The midfield play was spectacular, and North Texas did just enough. It doesn't matter how pretty the win is or how ugly. It just matters you got the dub. They did in Game 3.
Yeah, and, you know, this is funny to me because even when Alex Storm was a part of this team, they still played this type of defense. Like, this is still how they played. So it's just funny to me that the quintessential North Texas play style has not gone anywhere. And you know, I'm here for it. Let's make it as exciting as possible because that's what we're here for.
The saying, "Are you not entertained?" comes to mind as we go to a different kind of Coliseum. It is D-Bank's shot into the net, just exactly where it needed to be, and it's North Texas in front.
The Ducks starting to dry up on the offense. No one could grab the ball at all. That kickoff just sent them scurrying in a disaster situation, unable to pick up anything, and North Texas punishing them at every step, and the kickoff just keeps not going their way. This is a little better for AJC, but it's starting to unravel for the Ducks. I'm starting to get worried.
Oh, Lucia, a little backflip and some interference means Leland can drop a little teardrop into the net.
I'm less worried. Leland kept his flip for just long enough, and I don't know if the 3 boost he had in the tank actually mattered for where he was trying to get. Leland just knew he had to get down, hold his flip for as long as possible, and just get as powerful as a touch as he could. He got as close as he could to get to that ball, so that was still tough, even off of the misplay from Lucia.
Lucia through the corner, good cutoff by Leland. The ball still ends out there for D-Back. What a save by AJC. And now he's got Skippy downfield, looking for Leland. The idea was there, the execution still absent. AJC dunked on by D-Back as this goes deep into the corner. Skippy's got to get there in a hurry, and he needed AJC to bail him out. Big shot. Oh, coming on was too fast. But he was not too fast in that occasion. Just came up a little empty. You know, for a moment, that looked clever from Skippy, trying to get that ball back to Leland. Unfortunately, he was in a lot of North Texas traffic. As AJC battles with D-Bank, lets him go by, so don't have a lot of boost to play with. I mean, we've seen people score with no boost at all, and it almost happened there as Leland can't get the ball centered. Skippy came way up, and now he's going to do all he can to slow Lucia down.
Another good coverage from AJC. AJC's being a defensive bulwark for Oregon. They've been in some tough spots, and he's gotten some nice booming clears for them on several areas of the orange half, but I think he's really the linchpin right now. He's the owner of the lone save, but it's the clears that have been more important. And Leland, he had no boost, and that will be free for the mean green. Leland feeling helpless as he tried to get that.
Well, you know what?
He could have just stayed on the ground. He could have just stayed on the ground. But
yep.
But to be fair, like, he didn't know how fast that challenge was going to come, and North Texas had been challenging almost everything up to that point. He's low on boost, he's feeling a little panicked, and he jumped a little early.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. North Texas had been so fast to everything so far in this game, and ever since Game 1 so far this series. And no surprise, little happy feet in the defensive end costs Oregon a goal as they fall behind North Texas in a game that Oregon must win. Keep this series alive. Leland, redirect on target, and Lucia's just left dumbfounded on the post.
It's pixel perfect again. Lucia's got no boost. You can't be backing up there. You gotta be as close to the post as possible. When you have no boost, you're gonna sit on the back wall. You have to be ready for that shot. You know the shot is coming. If it bangs off the back wall, fine. That's fine, but your position, your role has to be the net. You can't stutter step there and hope for a catch. You got no boost. What are you gonna do with the ball? Score, that's what you're gonna do. North Texas take the lead right back.
You cannot get momentum on these guys at all. Like, sure, Oregon won the first game 4-1. Ever since then, anytime they've gotten a modicum of momentum, North Texas answers right back. And it's Lucia scoring his 4th goal of the series. Maybe about to make it 5. Got no pace behind that. So AJC can get there and get the demolition on too fast. Trying to chase this downfield. Very tight angle. Could not score.
And, you know, I was maybe being a little hard on Lucy on the last one. That was a great shot from Leland, which was the real focus of that play. But Lucia bringing it right back is definitely, you know, anything that would have went wrong on the defensive stand there definitely gets wiped away. But however North Texas hang on to this ball, I don't know. But for Oregon, Leland, if you can get this catch here, if they can put together a couple more of those passing plays, North Texas are still giving them a little bit of space, Stacks. They're still North Texas are using a lot of boost to get the job done. The Ducks can absolutely pick them apart on that. They'll have windows. It's not going to be a window on every counterattack, but they will come, but you just got to execute. The execution hasn't been perfect for the Ducks. There might need to be perfect in this final minute 20.
Oh, that was just about perfect. The pass was certainly perfect, as Leland got a ton of pace behind the shot, but it was blocked away. Now too fast. He had Lucia trying to get to Skippy, and AJC going after D-Bank, and that's how both teams are trying to score. North Texas looking for the knockout flow with a bump at midfield. Oregon looking for a bump at midfield to tie the game, and instead it's a loose ball in front that to Skippy just goes top corner.
Yeah, it was too fast. Who just missed the ball? He had the boost to deal with it, but he just couldn't find the read. That's his assignment there. And I'd love to give more praise to Oregon on that, but that was something Too Fast should have been able to grab. Oregon punishing them again. And I was just about to praise North Texas 2 Stacks for how they've adjusted their rotation ever since game 1. It was very clear that they just need a little bit of a warm-up counterattack quick for them, and maybe a shot, but it's too light, and it's saved by AJC.
Oh, that was dangerous. I think Leland also got a piece of that as they both committed and almost bumped each other out of the way. And boy, if that is how Oregon lost the series, yikes. But instead, we play on. Final 30 seconds of game 4. Last 2 games have gone to overtime. Both have been won by the Mean Green. Leland for AJC. Hit him on the nose, but the shot's going to be wide. Down to 13 seconds. To Skippy. Got an angle and he scores!
Skippy, a perfect carry. Catch, steal in midfield. Perfect touch on the side wall. And perfect timing on his flip. You couldn't ask for a 10 out of 10 any other way. That's what that was. A 10 out of 10 from Skippy. What a play!
Clutch shot. That is not easy, even when you're in a blowout. AJC trying to kill this ball one more time. Too fast. Can he keep it up? No, it's going to be knocked away. And Oregon forces game 5 with huge heroics from Skippy.
And I think North Texas dropped this one, Stacks. I think they should have closed this out. I think that it came down to one whiff. One little whiff. And that's all it takes. But
hey, you know what? I think we're even. Because let's be honest, Oregon probably should have won game 2.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. I mean, Skippy, that was some solo heroics to, like, none of what he did there was easy, right? First, you got to get the steal in midfield. Get the solid touch, keep the ball close. He got chipped a little bit, but rolled up the ramp. And that second touch off the sidewall also has to be good enough. You don't want to take it too far away. You won't be able to make a shot. You have limited boost in the tank. Instead, he kicks it up in the perfect spot where he can grab it, and then it's all about those fundamentals. He nailed it. The shot was perfect. Like, perfect progression from Skippy. I'll be really upset if chat didn't go off on that. I'll be upset if that's not a top 5 play, because
right?
Like, it might not be the most glamorous shot, but it was the perfect culmination of the fundamental mechanics that you practice in Rocket League. The the ball control, the first touch mechanics, the flip timing, everything. I love that. Like, to me, that is so fun and sexy to watch. To just see fundamentals consistent. It's beautiful.
You see all the names of the RLCS world champions in the rafters at Champions Field, and you start to think now, with some players starting to make that move from CRL into the big show, how long before you see a player who got their big start in Collegiate Rocket League put their name up in those rafters? Got maybe some candidates somewhere down the line on the field right now, as these two teams have put one heck of a show on for us here. We knew they would. We didn't think it would be anything like it has been. Too Fast doing all he can to keep that out of harm's way. And now Leland trying to set up AJC for the opening goal of Game 5, but it's going to be wide. Follow-up from Skippy, needs one more touch, and Lucia's there for a big clear out past AJC. Back in now from D-Bank. Oregon's had their shot on the offensive end. Now North Texas gets a turn. Lucia around AJC. D-Bank, maybe a little miscommunication there. The pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that lets Oregon off the hook defensively, and should have let them back onto the attack, but D-Bank just eviscerated the entire defense, bumped Skippy off the wall, and Leland made the save!
Oh, that shot was so good from Lucia. They still might get another one, but you're upset if that one doesn't go in. Lucia, angry, takes out a player on the goal line, and D-Bank will collect for the Mean Green.
And yet again, it's a demolition along the goal line. That is where Oregon has been weak all series long, and North Texas has punished them time and time again. And it comes up big at the start of Game 5.
It gets scary for the Duck Stacks if they can't get a booming clear off the back wall. After that, North Texas are all over them. Like, their positioning is always playing that loss on the back wall. If they don't get a boomer, then they're gonna get scored on. That's the feeling. This series has completely flipped from Ducks are driving the match and North Texas are just picking up great goal line stands. But now look at this. North Texas are all over the ball, beating the Ducks at every step. D-Bank has a double. Lucia's got the second goal for North Texas. It just doesn't stop coming for the Mean Green.
Yeah, this play is doomed. As soon as Skippy, he had a little bit of boost, but he had to go into the goal to try and come out, and as soon as the timing was all off there, it is open season for the Mean Green. Up 2-0 here. This might be North Texas' biggest lead of this series.
I think you might be right. They've really struggled on offense and have kept the match close at every step. And D-Bank, how about a 3-goal lead? They're going to extend that maximum lead. Had the flip reset, timed it perfectly. This is why the flip reset is the most dangerous tool you can have in your kit as a competitive Rocket League player, because the options it opens up are really limitless. The defender is in your hands at that point if you have any chance to delay your flip reset. You can opt to not take it and it will be successful. The defender basically has to guess if he didn't already jump up to challenge you before you could get the flip reset set. It is so dangerous if you can get them off consistently. That's why you see more and more pros use it every time you see them take the pitch, because it's just such a versatile tool to have in your arsenal.
I think the defender sitting in the net assumed he didn't have it, because he went way low to the ground, and AJC just was casually going towards the back wall. I think if he realized that flip reset was coming, he would have been a little more urgency. Down 3 goals now, 2 minutes left. Lucia trying to delay. It's a little dangerous, and the bouncing shot saved away by D-Bank. Another shot in from Leland, easily saved by D-Bank. HAC can't get there. Too Fast is indeed Too Fast. He showed up a little late to the series. He was not late once the series started. He's been a huge part of why North Texas is a minute 40 away from vanquishing Oregon here in a classic battle in the West.
And meanwhile, Oregon can't hang on to the ball anymore, where they were taking the lead in these challenges. They're a little slower. D-Bank just beat AJC in midfield, where AJC was a midfield monster in the first 2 games of this set, but since then, it's been nothing but Texas. Nothing but North Texas. They might get a 4th goal before it's all said and done, and the Ducks are just left scrambled all over the orange half stacks. Just nothing. They had no boost. They were picking up pads. They were just hoping they didn't get scored on a 4th time.
High out of the corner, North Texas looking for the killing blow, and it's D-Bank that delivers, and it's his 7th goal of this epic series.
And the Hattie for this game alone. D-Bank gets it, bounced the crossbar, and the Ducks, it's been a long season so far. And the Ducks, no team has been able to take them down. And at the start, I really thought that the Ducks, this started out so well for the Ducks. North Texas started out so flat. We mentioned that, too fast. He came into the lobby late. North Texas in general were here after the Ducks got here, so we were speculating that, they looked like they hadn't really warmed up, and Game 1 reflected that. But then Game 2 happened. They started to find more leeway in the series. They started to kick it up a little bit more. Game 3, the rotations were fixed. The touches were fixed. Midfield presence was fixed. Defense definitely fixed. The shots, they get this one with 18 seconds left stacks. But to me, this game is all but over.
Yeah, this has been all North Texas, and how fitting would it be, this series that got off to such a bizarre start, Oregon winning 4-1, could end with North Texas taking the final game by the exact same scoreline with the exact same level of dominance as they close things out. North Texas was scary at times, but not when it mattered most in Game 5. Playing the game for the honor and fame and the glory of UNT.
Mean Green. D-Bank in the big old Harbinger, because everything's bigger in Texas. And D-Bank, you deserve your 766 points, my dude. You played excellently. You know who else who played excellently in the back half of that match, Stacks? Lucia. He's bringing up the rear on the scoreboard, but that's where the dirty work gets done. You don't get any of the glory, but you win all of your challenges. You put the ball in awkward spots for the defense to deal with, and he even had a couple of nasty shots on net that were just saved, and he couldn't complete. He actually did pick up a goal. So I liked North Texas. It was scary at first, I'm not gonna lie. I was a little worried, and these students have a lot of stuff on their plates, and I'm not gonna knock them for not being warmed up. Who knows? They probably just got back from having to do something with school, and college ain't easy. But to recover like they did within the match, I think it speaks to their resilience as a team, especially in the comms.
Well, they certainly didn't look ready when they stepped on the field, but when all was said and done, there was no question. You do not mess with North Texas. Oregon learned that lesson, and they go with the dub here as we almost close out the night. We still got one more to go. It is Missouri S&T up against Long Beach State as the West Coast Best Coast will close us out when we come back.